right now on 5 on your side at 10.
A Top 10 Tuesday as the mild January weather continues, but a pattern change is coming. When that happens and why it will make for a soggy situation midweek.
Back to school following tragedy. Central VPA students return to the building tomorrow. Tonight, the debate in Jefferson City over how to prevent another mass shooting. First tonight, a DoorDash driver and a teenager shot in separate shootings in the same neighborhood.
I'm extremely sick of this violence. It's unnecessary.
The message neighbors on a quiet North St. Louis street have for city leaders. Good evening, I'm Mike Bush. Ann Allred has the night off. Those two shootings happened just days apart on Ashland Avenue near Union Boulevard. New tonight, our Robert Townsend talked to neighbors and community leaders about the gun violence that's still a problem in the new year.
Today we heard chimes blowing in the wind when we went to Ashland Avenue in North St. Louis. But last Wednesday,
I did hear gunshots. They sounded extremely close.
gunfire rang out outside Madison Dyson's bedroom window. Police say just down the street, a DoorDash driver was making a delivery when he accidentally backed into a man's car. Investigators say the suspect hopped out of his car and then shot the 20-year-old DoorDash driver in his chest.
The police came and knocked on the door and asked for any video camera footage. We didn't have any.
Sunday night, police went back to the same neighborhood, this time the 5200 block of Ashland, after someone shot a 15-year-old boy in his back. Both victims rushed to hospitals.
It's traumatic, and I really hope that they recover.
People who live on Ashland say crime is rare on their street.
And I've never heard of anything like that. I mean, we hear gunshots, but normally it's further off in the distance.
That is very disheartening.
Neighbors say they hope St. Louis's new police chief, Robert Tracy, can help curb the violence. Sharon Atlas wants more town hall meetings.
He has to be able to do those where people can actually come out and he can listen and then actually really come out and see these areas.
So on this Dr. King holiday, the Urban League's public safety director is once again pleading to clergy members, law enforcement, and other community leaders to come together and tackle the gun violence in St. Louis.
We cannot walk into the spring and summer of 2023 without a holistic plan that includes scaled up neighborhood engagement.
Back in this Ashland neighborhood,
I'm hoping that I hear more kids playing outside than gunshots.
Robert Townsend, 5 on your side.
Police arrested a 27-year-old suspect for the shooting of the DoorDash driver. They're still looking for the person who shot the teen. Well, right now, rain, showers, and clouds are moving out of the St. Louis area. It's the end of a long holiday weekend. Weather First Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell is here with what you can expect for the short work week.
Well, you know, Mike, temperatures are still mild this evening. We are still holding in the 50s around the St. Louis area, and most of us didn't get a whole lot of rain today. It was early this morning, and then again, we've had some spot showers and maybe even a rumble of thunder east of St. Louis. Live look at Lambert right now, 53 degrees currently. Flights have been doing pretty well today out at Lambert. Your Weather First Doppler radar. Yes, we have a little bit of action along that front off to the east of St. Louis right now. These are quick hitting showers. You might get one passing right over downtown Flora in about the next 10-15 minutes or so. But that's it. There's not much else out there. In fact, skies are clearing back to the west, or at least becoming partly cloudy to mostly clear. Temperatures aren't going to be all that much cooler tomorrow either. We'll still have a beautiful bright day. Now, there is another chance for rain this week. The clearing skies overnight, bright and mild for your Tuesday, but widespread rain is likely on Wednesday. We're going to talk about the timing on when that arrives, when it moves out, and the changes it brings as we head towards the weekend. See you in about 12 minutes, Mike.
All right, Scott. Well, tomorrow, students, teachers, and staff at Central Visual and Performing Arts High School will return to campus for the first time since a deadly shooting nearly 3 months ago. Students have not been inside the building since a gunman entered the school on October 24th and killed a teacher and a classmate. 7 others were hurt in the attack. Students have been learning virtually since November. The district made repairs and upgrades to the school. Tomorrow, they'll return to extra safety measures.
On the outside, you will see St. Louis police around a little bit more. Inside the building, we're going to have more security officers, and we're going to have some who are armed, some who are not.
15 to 20 therapists will be available to support students and staff tomorrow. Therapy dogs will also be on hand. Students who are not comfortable to return can continue to learn virtually. As Central VPA students return, lawmakers in Jefferson City are once again trying to pass a red flag law, something top Republicans at the State House have refused to entertain. Our Laura Barczewski is live outside CVPA tonight with reaction from both sides of the aisle.
Mike, the bill's champion hopes this law would prevent this type of shooting from happening ever again. But Republicans tell me a red flag law would take people's rights away. As the Central Visual and Performing Arts High School community continues to heal and return to the building after the shooting, State Representative Peter Meredith says he wants to prevent this from happening again with a red flag law.
And the police said, under Missouri laws, we can't do anything. And the parents did their best. They tried to have the gun removed and taken to a neighbor's house, but the kid got it back and the shooting happened. And that's just a failure of our laws here in Missouri.
Meredith says the law he is proposing is similar to one passed in Florida and would allow someone to report a person who has a gun to police if they believe the gun owner is a threat to themselves or someone else.
They have to get essentially like a warrant from the court where a judge signs off and says, yes, you meet these standards to take the gun. The person's also entitled the very next business day to a hearing if they want to contest that and get their guns back.
Representative Tony Lavasco says he is against red flag laws and believes if passed, it would take rights away from Missourians.
It's one thing to have the discussion about who can be a prohibited possessor and who is legally able to have a weapon. It's another thing to say that simply based on an accusation or an assumption that someone has committed harm, that we're going to take their property. I wouldn't support that for any other kind of property. Why would I support it for guns?
Lavasco says instead of a red flag law, he'd like to see the state put money into school security.
Obviously we provide lots of money to schools, to parks, to all kinds of public buildings, but we don't necessarily look at security as a separate line item to be looked at and analyzed. To me, if we're not going through and actually following up to make sure that our buildings and our people are safe, I think that's the biggest problem that we've got here.
Now, Meredith hopes to get this bill assigned to a committee and hopefully then schedule a hearing. But Lavasco says the Republican supermajority, their minds haven't really changed at all since last year, and they're very heavily opposed to it. Reporting in St. Louis, Laura Barczewski, 5 on your side.
Tonight, alarming new information about the woman accused of shooting at St. Louis police. The I-Team has learned she walked out of jail 24 hours after it happened without being charged. Police say the woman opened fire at officers Friday morning on North 16th Street after threatening to shoot up the Social Security Administration office. No one was hurt. Sources tell 5 on your side St. Louis Circuit Attorney Kim Gardner's office declined to charge her, claiming the case needs more police follow-up. The St. Louis Police Department has not responded to our questions about this case. The former Louisiana, Missouri police chief is now charged with second-degree murder for the overdose death of his girlfriend's brother. Will Jones was charged with drug trafficking last year after Gabriel Thone was found dead inside Jones's apartment. Police also found traces of heroin, fentanyl, and cocaine in the home. Jones's attorney says his client is innocent and will fight the charges in court. Well, today the nation remembered slain civil rights leader Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Ceremonies and celebrations were held here in St. Louis. Several people marched from downtown to midtown for the 54th annual MLK Day Parade. St. Louis Mayor Tashara Jones spoke about the importance of starting the annual march and motorcade at the old courthouse.
Our ancestors were sold into slavery on these very steps. But today we reclaim these steps, this courthouse, and in this city of inclusion and equity for all.
Many chose to honor Dr. King's legacy by performing community service. Volunteers gathered in Ferguson this morning to clean up West Florissant Avenue. The Urban League teamed up with the St. Louis Food Bank for an MLK distribution event. Volunteers gave out boxes of food along with toiletries and household cleaning supplies. It's a popular Motown song many sing on birthdays. Tonight, our Verified team looks into the meaning and the lyrics and its interesting connection to the MLK holiday. Here's Audion Day-Till.
You've probably heard Stevie Wonder's wildly popular song, Happy Birthday. A viral tweet says Wonder's song was written to promote the movement to make MLK Day a federal holiday. Verify viewer Erica asked if this is true. So let's verify using these sources. Stevie Wonder was heavily involved in the movement to make Martin Luther King Jr. Day a national holiday.
Please join me urging the U.S. Senate and your senators in particular to vote yes on S-400, a bill to make Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday a national holiday.
Wonder gave that speech on August 27, 1983, during a rally for the 20th anniversary of the March on Washington. Following the speech, Wonder sang Happy Birthday, the 5th track on side 2 of his 1980 album, Hotter Than July.
And in truth, our hearts will sing, thanks to Martin Luther King. Happy birthday!
The original vinyl sleeve for the album directly advocated for King's birthday to become a national holiday. And according to Motown Records, the record label which released the song, Happy Birthday became the signature song of the MLK Day campaign. So we can verify, yes, Stevie Wonder did write the song Happy Birthday to support making Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday a national holiday.
With your Verify, I'm Ariante Till.
What would you like us to verify? Just send an email to verify@ksdk.com. In a diaper and waving a loaded gun.
And he just kept pow, 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 pow.
The chilling video viewers watched in horror on live national television. It's a household essential, but is your internet up to speed and are you paying too much? Tonight we're giving you a connection to savings.
While most of us saw a bit of rain Monday, our next system is expected to produce more widespread, heavier rain. When it arrives, and if there could be some snowflakes in the extended forecast for a change.
Tonight, an Indiana father faces neglect charges after disturbing video of his 4-year-old son playing with a loaded handgun. The Ring doorbell video and the father's arrest played out on live national television.
Even knowing how it ends, watching the video, you find yourself catching your breath.
It all aired live Saturday night on the cable show On Patrol Live. There were 15 rounds in the magazine, and you can see the young boy pull the trigger. Thankfully, none of the bullets were in the chamber.
I don't know how you can't watch that video, parent or non-parent, and not be shocked and disturbed. And then thankful, ultimately, that there wasn't a tragedy.
The father, Shane Osborne, told officers he was sick and had been sleeping when his son got out. He will have his first court hearing tomorrow. Tonight, officials in Peoria, Illinois suspect arson at a Planned Parenthood clinic. According to investigators, someone threw a fire accelerant through the window, causing the damage. No one was inside at the time. In a statement, Planned Parenthood says it will continue to provide the care its patients need. Tonight in Washington, House Republicans are stepping up pressure on President Biden after additional classified documents were found at his home in Wilmington, Delaware. Republicans are comparing it to the FBI's search of former President Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate. They also question how long it took to notify the American people. Democrats emphasize, unlike Trump, the Biden team has turned the documents over to authorities the right way.
That sounds like a little bit of engineering from my perspective. And the second thing is the stench of hypocrisy coming from this administration is making the American people sick.
The president and his administration are cooperating, and I trust that they will continue to cooperate.
Separate special counsels are now investigating both the president and the former president's handling of classified documents. When was the last time you took a close look to see how much you're actually paying for your internet service? Consumer Reports wanted to know, so it collected tens of thousands of people's bills. What it found might surprise you and maybe get you to take action to save money. How much are you paying for your internet? If you grabbed your bill but are confused and still can't find the answer, guess what? You're not alone.
And knowing how much you pay for it is important, so you can budget on a month-to-month basis of having this essential service.
Consumer Reports spent more than 8 months analyzing more than 22,000 internet bills submitted by people from all across the country. Amidst lines of charges and fees, determining the true price of internet proved to be challenging.
A lot of consumers bundle it with their TV or their phone service, and some providers have a separate line item for internet service, but others do not. They just have one price for bundled service, and you can't really tell on that sort of bill what part of that bundle is paying for your broadband service.
The NCTA, Internet and Television Association, a trade group, disagrees and says cable providers continue to provide consumers with transparent billing information on their websites and promotional materials. CR also found prices for internet service varied widely.
We found people paying for subpar broadband service, like 5 to 10 megabits per second download speeds, were paying on average the same as people getting 100, 300 megabits per second.
How can you make sure you're getting the best possible deal? First, make sure you're getting the speed you're paying for. You can use Internet Speed Test at Speed Test by Ookla or MLabs. Next, call your provider to find out what you're actually paying each month. Then start to negotiate with your provider. CR's members consistently find lower prices by haggling. And buy a top-rated router to avoid recurring monthly rental fees. Consumer Reports says you might also be able to save by enrolling in paperless billing and monthly auto pay programs. Well, new video tonight of a tornado crossing an interstate in Iowa. This video was captured by a driver on Interstate 80 west of Iowa City. The National Weather Service confirmed an EF1 tornado with 90-mile-per-hour winds. The touchdown damage was limited. Fortunately, no one was hurt. Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell joins us now with the Weather First forecast, and we have sunshine in our future, right, Scott?
We sure do. Part of that same system that brought the tornado to Iowa today. All the ingredients came together there. That brought us some showers and some gusty winds at times, and now the skies are clearing around the St. Louis area, even into downtown St. Louis. We had some showers pop up to the east of town this evening. Not unexpected, but they quickly moved off to the east, right along the front. 62 degrees. Can you believe that for the high today? The low was only 48, but just 0.05 of an inch of liquid in the rain gauge, and that was it. Go out Highway 50 here, out towards Flora and just north of Flora. You got a couple of little showers. They're drifting over the farm fields and heading eastbound. That's the last of what developed just east of St. Louis, right along the front. This is a pretty strong system moving across the middle part of the country for sure, and certainly that spin was just localized enough to create the severe weather up in Iowa today. Probably one of the reasons why that tornado ends up being rated as low as it did, because it looked much better, right? Probably that's because it didn't hit anything of consequence. It was mostly out over the open fields, and that's a good thing. All right, so we look out west. We've got the snow and the rain that's been over California for the last few days. That system is our next weather maker. Now, before it gets here, we're kind of in between systems tomorrow, which means we start with a mainly clear sky. We have lots of sunshine on the way. Your temperatures still starting out above where we should be for the high this time of year, and we're back into the mid-50s for highs tomorrow afternoon. As we head into tomorrow evening, be on alert for a spectacular sunset. Certainly possible tomorrow as those high clouds roll in. Ahead of this next weather system, we're going to watch the clouds thicken overnight tomorrow night into early Wednesday. Most of the rain will elude us during the morning rush hour, but we get in on it later in the rush hour through the course of the day on Wednesday and into Wednesday evening. This should be a little more widespread and a little bit heavier, and all the cold air is still locked up to our north and west. So this is not a winter weather maker for St. Louis. We're getting closer now where those high resolution models start to get a feel for what's going on. And again, we're thinking that most of the heavier, more widespread rain, showers, maybe some rumbles of thunder is happening along about the afternoon into the evening. So it will be more widespread than what we saw today. It's still mild, so all liquid. No snow for us, and the expected rainfall between 1/4 and 3/4 of an inch. That should do it for most of us. Here's your 10-day forecast. That's the big focus on Wednesday with the showers. After that, temperatures are back into the low and mid-40s heading into the weekend, and no big signals for big storms, but it finally gets colder next week.
All right. Scott, thanks. Frank is here with sports.
Mike, we have a big sportscast coming your way. The Blues win a key game. You will hear from Jack Flaherty and Miles Michaelis. And Dak Prescott was better than Tom Brady. Stick around.
The Sports Desk is brought to you by Jim Butler Chevrolet, the Midwest's #1 Chevy dealer, 10 years running.
There's only one way for the Blues to be elite again. Their top draft choices have to become special. Doug Armstrong can make good trades, but you have to nail the picks. Tonight against the Senators, one of those picks looked like a player. Scoreless in the first period. Callie Rosen throws it in front, and the former first-round pick Jake Neighbors pokes it through his second goal in 3 games. Later in the first, Noel Achari, great hustle here on the misplay, and the note led it 2-0. Now, is Neighbors tough? Second period, Neighbors goes at it with Parker Kelly, delivers a series of right hands, and then he will throw Kelly to the ice like a rag doll. Then in the third period, 2-1 Blues, it was time for Jordan Binnington to shine. He was not going to allow this puck to get past him. He saw 32 shots, saved 31. The Blues win their 2,000th career game, the final 2-1. And Jake, about your fighting style, please.
I think that's been my strategy almost every one I've been in, is just get in there and tuck the chin and swing. So until I find someone that makes me pay for that, I'll probably just keep that up.
Reports of Dak Prescott's demise have been greatly exaggerated. First quarter versus the Buccaneers, a strike to Dalton Schultz, 6-0 Cowboys. And in a game involving Tom Brady, Prescott was the one feeling it, moving and doing it. 4 touchdown passes, he ran for another. Cowboys look like they'll face the 49ers next week. They lead it 31-14 with under 2 minutes to play. Brad Underwood in Illinois at Minnesota on MLK Day. And these special shoes of the coach will be auctioned off, and the proceeds will benefit an African-American cultural center. Beautiful shoes. Sincere Harris with the shot of the day. You normally try this game in a horse game. Wow, he didn't even look at the basket. And this Harris is sincerely fast. Illinois moves to 13-5 with a 78-60 victory. Our thoughts and prayers are with the family of Ted Savage. The former Cardinal passed away at the age of 85 over the weekend. Ted played in the big leagues for a decade and later got his PhD at SLU. Then he worked for the Cardinals for 25 years. 2 things jump out. He always had a smile on his face, and he always hit the golf ball a long way. Rest in peace, Ted. Heck, even the owners come to the winter warm-up and sign autographs. Jack Flaherty was one of the headliners today, though. Because of injuries, he hasn't pitched a full season since 2019. He's in the walk year of a contract, so there's plenty of motivation, especially because of what he's been forced to watch recently.
I've watched 3 playoff losses in the last year, and I haven't pitched in any of them, and that doesn't feel good to me. It sucks watching, being there and watching, especially being in the bullpen and watching that happen. At least in 20, I can hang my hat on the fact that I had a chance to pitch that last game. But these last 2 years, sitting back and watching is just, it sucked.
If Flaherty is not the ace this season, this man, Miles Mikolas, could be. He was last year, winning 12 games with a scant 3.29 earned run average. Like Jack, he will also be a free agent. I wouldn't be stunned if the Cardinals make an offer soon to keep him. In the meantime, this 2-time All-Star loves the competition with Flaherty.
It's an exciting prospect to have him, to have another full season of Jack. And I know he's one of the hardest workers out there, so I have no doubt that he's been doing everything to get in shape for this season. And he's one of those guys that is really fun to compete against because he likes to get under your skin and you can get under his skin. We can, and with Waino especially, our little in rotation competitions for stuff. And, he's a guy you want to have in that competition because he's going to help you elevate your game.
Tonight at Belleville Lindenwood, we had quite a high school basketball matchup. Chaminade and East St. Louis. Dunk of the night for the Flyers, McCaleb Rich. That's a left-handed putback jam. He's in high school. The Red Devils counter on a 3 from Nalavan Daniels. Flyers win a big one, 63-61. And the Cowboys have beaten the Buccaneers. They'll play the 49ers now. Mike?
All right, Frank, thanks. One Missouri school district is subtracting 1 day from its school week, and it's adding up to more applicants for teaching jobs. One Missouri school district may have found the answer to a teacher shortage. The Independent School District near Kansas City is seeing a 450% increase in the number of job applications. The spike comes after the district announced it will switch to a 4-day school week next school year. Taylor Swift has inspired a new breakup bar ahead of Valentine's Day. A pop-up venue named Bad Blood will open in Chicago's West Loop later this month. For $20, people can wallow about their ex, who they're never ever getting back together with. There will be karaoke, tarot card readings, and a Shake It Off wheel of cocktails. Night Court is back in session. John Larroquette returns as attorney Dan Fielding for a reboot of the popular 80s sitcom. Melissa Rauch from The Big Bang Theory plays Judge Abby Stone, the daughter of Judge Harry Stone, who was played by the late Harry Anderson. Night Court premieres tomorrow night at 7, right here on 5 on Your Side. And there you have it. 5 on Your Side at 10. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is next. Don't forget to start your day with Today in St. Louis beginning at 4 a.m. And have a great tomorrow. We'll see you then.